I have a love-hate relationship with having to cover stories related to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez because seriously, I think she's just not that bright. She has no idea what she's talking about. The mainstream media, PolitiFact, Washington Post, and others have repeatedly called out her nonsense statement. She recently led a protest against Amazon, which resulted in the failure of a massive economic deal. And this pissed off progressives and Democrats. Yes, some people agree with her. The point is, she is a contentious figure and she is extremely relevant. It's unfortunate, Huffington Post, that you think conservative men are obsessed with Cortez. Science tells us why. Conservatives respond to fear more strongly than liberals do, says one neuroscientist who studies political anxiety. Listen, conservatives aren't necessarily obsessed with Cortez. She's just exceedingly politically relevant. But let's get to the main news and not drag this out any longer. From bounding into comics, Devil's due to publish Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez comic book. Why did I open this video about the comic book with a story about conservatives being obsessed with Cortez? I'm sorry, everyone's obsessed with Cortez, and you're allowed to be. It's okay. All right. This obsession is doing wonders for her name recognition, and I expect her to go very far. You don't need to be an expert or have any experience to get elected. Cortez is the left's answer to Donald Trump. They're in many ways the same. They're both really good in certain ways at social media. They both say things they're both called liars all the time. They've both criticized the press for calling them liars. They've both said things that are seemingly irrational or nonsensical and have been heavily criticized. They've both also made good points that I've actually said, okay. Cortez made a comment about the future of big tech and journalism and the problems it's caused. I agree with her on that. And I actually agreed to an extent with her complaints about the Amazon deal. Don't get me wrong. I think there's an interesting question in you're going to provide all of these incentives to massive billion-dollar corporations that don't need it necessarily. But for the most part, more so, I disagree. Here's the point. If you want to complain that it's the right that's obsessed with Cortez, but you go and literally publish a comic book where she's trampling a red elephant in a suit and there is a donkey pinching their collar. Oh, geez. I'm going to have to ask you who's more obsessed. Okay? Cortez is going to be an extremely wealthy individual soon. If not, she's already. I made a video just prior to this talking about Bernie Sanders, how he just became a billionaire. A millionaire. M, not B. Following his failed presidential campaign. Yes, he apparently made more than $1 million in 2016 and 2017. Cortez is on track to be that wealthy as well. And she's going to take it. She's going to taste that sweet, sweet, sweet green. Her new infinity pool, that luxury apartment she's living in, reportedly. I don't know. I'll reserve... there was a story about her moving into a luxury apartment that has an infinity pool or something. You know what that is? It's like a pool where the water just goes off the edge, so it looks like, it doesn't end or whatever. It's very nice. Congratulations on all your success. I have no problem with any of these people being successful, but I just gotta love the socialists. Yes, the self-described socialists who complain about the wealthy and use that rhetoric to become wealthy. Congratulations. It worked, Cortez. But anyway, more to the point. Comic book publisher Devil's Due will launch a brand new one-shot comic featuring Ocasio-Cortez. The book, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the Freshman Force, New Party Who Dis, is the brainchild of Devil's Due publisher Josh Blaylock. Why did I add a B? And look at this. She's Wonder Woman, apparently. And the Republicans are the kings. Oh, the Democrats are the kings as well. According to Ocasio, oh my God. According to Ocasio Comic, the series will feature contributions from Marguerite DeBay, Jill Thompson, Dean Haspiel, Jose Garibaldi, Tim Seeley, and others. The book will be an anthology and will also feature thematic workbook activities and games. The cover is done by Tim Seeley and Josh Blaylock. There will also be a variant cover by Seeley and Blaylock. Yes, she is dressed like Wonder Woman. This is the Wonder Woman outfit from the movie. New Party Who Dis. It seems like a fellow kids thing, but I guess as long as she is a millennial, she's allowed to make the memes. The story will see Ocasio-Cortez taking on the establishment. Blaylock spoke to Newsarama about the book. It's no secret that AOC has become the unofficial leader of the new school. and has sparked life back into Washington, and that's reflected in the enthusiasm on display by the men and women contributing to this project. While we all don't agree on everything, we share a common excitement for the breath of fresh air the new Congress brings. I hope this is as much a cathartic release for readers as it has been for us creators, he added. This time around, we wanted to create something that celebrates the fresh new energy and diversity of the stagnated legislative body and help some good causes at the time. I like that idea, actually. I am no fan of Congress. I think they are stagnated, and I can respect diversity. I have no problem with that. I certainly don't like the identitarianism that comes along with these people, but, that's something that we can criticize while still recognizing the incumbents need to go. There's nothing I hate more than the crony capitalist Democrat class of individuals who are these snooty, wealthy limousine liberals who act like they're there for the poor people, and they're not. Republicans are going to do Republican, okay? And they always have. And I've never cared because I've never aligned with them. I look at the ivory tower elites wiping their mouths with $100 bills while poo-pooing the poor people and saying, don't worry, we'll save you, looking down from their great tower as people scream for help and they flick coins out from their rooftop. People like Al Gore, who made videos talking about how we have only 10 years or 12 years, and then he flies in his private jets. Yes, really. Put your money where your mouth is. When Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez won, I laughed. When Trump won, I laughed. I love seeing the establishment upended. I was sitting in a newsroom in D.C. Cassandra Fairbanks was there, and Trump was projected to lose, and all the people in the newsroom were snooty and laughing. And then when the tides shifted and Trump started to win, everyone started getting really nervous. And I started laughing. I started laughing very loud. How in the did Trump win? It was hilarious. The establishment had been thrown on its head. Seeing Hillary Clinton deposed. Wow, that was funny. When Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez beat Joe Crowley, I laughed in much the same way. I made a bunch of videos talking about how happy I was that she defeated the incumbent Joe Crowley. And I'm going to say I'm not entirely convinced I want that guy back either. But I certainly think Cortez is off her rocker at this point. Look, when she won, I was kind of thinking, this will be something new. I don't think she's an expert, but it's good to see young people coming in and getting rid of these incumbents. I do not like these people. I don't like Nancy Pelosi and Schumer. I think the Democrats are snooty, hypocritical liars who manipulate people to get in office. And not all of them. Not all of them. No way. At this point, I don't know if there's anybody I can name that I'm actually a fan of. Let me try and think. There was someone I was praising recently. I can't remember. I do like Tulsi Gabbard. I have respect for. I'm not super familiar with her platform, but I dig Tulsi because there's man, I need to do more research on her platform. But I know that she's being attacked left and right by the establishment and all that stuff. So that's unsurprising. Rand Paul, I think, is an honest guy. I disagree with his politics to a great deal, but I do think he's honest. There's very few people I feel are being overly honest in politics in general, but for the most part, I just don't like anybody. Partial proceeds for the book will go to the United Service Organization and Rice's Texas. Is that Race's Texas? They describe themselves as a nonprofit that promotes justice by providing free and low-cost legal services to underserved immigrant children, families, and refugees. They also tout they are the largest immigration legal service provider in Texas. Devil's Due Comics is no stranger to producing political comics. They previously published Barack the Barbarian. Oh, that's kind of offensive, isn't it? By Larry Hammer, Josh Blaylock, and Chris Schkanz. So look, the point I wanted to bring up, without going too long on this video, is how are you going to claim that it's the conservatives that are obsessed with Cortez when they're only reacting to you doing things like this? It's really funny, too, because I've talked about how conservatives are memeing Cortez towards the presidency, and everyone gets all angry, and they're like, stop saying that, Tim, that's stupid. And I'm like, dude, the left, Trump got free airtime because he was saying things that was newsworthy and considered shocking. They kept putting him on TV. Cortez is the same way. I got to make a video about this because she's getting a comic book about her. It's the most insane thing ever. And yes, it's going to do well for her and she'll get more followers. Here's the thing. I'm not conservative. I don't care if she becomes president or wins. And look, I don't care for the most part who wins. I think everybody's pushing buttons trying to get their agenda passed. I'm not a fan of Cortez. I'm not going to actively support her in this direction. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting here kind of like, yeah, you know what? Someone's going to win, whatever. People on the left are mad at Trump. People on the right are mad at her. And if she wins, well, you know what? That's what happens. I don't really care if she wins or not. I'm not going to vote for her. But that's the thing. I think all this attention is really great for her, and it's going to make her particularly wealthy. She is going to be, look, like what's Nancy Pelosi worth? Like 100, 200 million or some ridiculous number? Yes, most people in politics are extremely wealthy, and now Bernie Sanders is a millionaire. Yes, how long until Cortez becomes another one of these wealthy elites who's completely detached from reality? I'll tell you this, living in a luxury apartment detaches you from the working class. It detaches you from reality. Look at Jussie Smollett. People have criticized him, saying the reason his hoax failed, his presumed hoax, is because he doesn't know what it's actually like out on the street. And so he concocted this ridiculous narrative that he thought reality was actually like, and he was so removed that the working class cops and detectives were laughing like, this dude has apparently never spent a day in reality, has he? Anyway, I'm out. I'll have another video tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you then.